All right. So first of all, thanks everybody for joining. We appreciate you being here. My name is Sandy Gladfelder. I'm the coordinator of health education for WellSpan Health, and I'm excited to be your presenter for today. So my class is going to be, my workshop's going to be on 1% more. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully everything works out well. So 1% more basically means do what you can with what you've got where you are. This was a quote I just found that I loved, and I just thought it was a good thing. And basically where I got this from is I got a book. It's called 1% More or 1% Better, Reaching My Full Potential and How You Can Too. And it's about a young man with Down syndrome who is the first individual with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman triathlon. And not only is that an accomplishment in itself, but he did it in 2020, which during the middle of a global pandemic is another just great accomplishment. And I had asked for the book and got it and received it and read it. And it's just very, I don't know, very motivating in regards to that. So one of the biggest things there is talking about in trying to improve yourself, but we're doing it in very small steps, just like 1% more at a time. And basically, the best part is you're only ever going to compare yourself to yourself, not against anybody else. So like today I have myself, and then if I make some changes today, 1% different, then tomorrow I can compare myself against myself from yesterday. So it just, it kind of gets you that motivation, if you will, just to kind of start thinking about that. There's another book called Atomic Habits that discusses that we are more likely to develop good habits when they result in the fulfillment of a powerful goal or dream. And you'll hear me use the word dream several times throughout my presentation. Basically, the dream furnishes the motivation for developing and maintaining habits and also serves as a filter. So one of the biggest things that happens when people try to make changes is that for a short period of time, they can be very successful. And then what starts to happen is that they find that after if they're in a class or they're doing something for, like a Biggest Loser, but when it ends, then they revert back to those old habits. And so what we want to do is try to figure out how can we make these habits more like lifelong type of things in regards to that. So if you continue to think the way that you always have thought, you'll continue to get what you've always got. So is it enough? You'll find that I use a lot of different quotes and stuff throughout because I find that you never know how it's going to speak to somebody, but if you do what you've always done, then you're going to get what you've always gotten. So the point is, if you want to change, then you've got to start to make some of those types of decisions. So how do we go about that? Well, when you're ready to make the change, you make the change. But I've often heard from people is like, well, I'm going to wait and start on Monday. And it's Tuesday. So it's like, so they're giving them permission for the next 6 days to not make any changes or to do sort of things. And the point there is like, don't wait for Monday, or don't wait for January, or don't wait till the weather gets better. When you're ready, and you make that change right then and then move forward. The other thing is we want to talk a little bit about habit stacking. So habit stacking is basically, it's a strategy where you want to group small changes together into a routine that you can follow daily. One of the biggest problems is, especially right after New Year's, is everybody wants to make New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight. I want to exercise. I want to, eat healthier. I want to stop doing this, start doing that. And man, by like the second or third week in January, we've given up on all of them because we're asking too much of ourselves. The bottom line is you want to just be able to do one small change. And when that becomes your habit, then you make the next small change. So it's really important just to sort of say, where am I going to go with this? So like, for example, maybe start with a 5-minute block of activity. Maybe you could do more than 5 if you're not, if you're doing that, but just do 1 more minute than what you're currently doing, or start with that 5 minutes and then slowly build upon that. Success is small, but we want to do that. And then focus on the small wins. Too often we set those lofty expectations of, I want to lose 25 pounds. Well, guess what? You're not going to lose 25 pounds till you lose 1 pound. And you can't lose 1 pound till you make a change to do something different than what you're currently doing. So again, you can have these goals, you can have these lofty expectations, just make sure we're putting those plans in place to be able to get there. Be accountable. That's one of the biggest things that we hear from people is, if I'm in a class and I have an instructor and they're checking in on me, I know every week I've got to answer these questions or I've got to speak to them, and that keeps me accountable. But how do you get that motivation internally to continue when you're not in that class or something like that? And that's where you find friends or online stuff, write it down, anything where you can do that. create small, enjoyable rewards. And oftentimes we put rewards with food. Wow, I lost 5 pounds, so now I can treat myself to that ice cream sundae. And you're like, like we're going backwards. So just create small little rewards. Maybe it's watch a favorite TV show or buy a book, relaxing for a few minutes, trying a healthy snack, something different that is going to kind of keep you moving. And then focus on repetition, repeat, repeat, repeat. Again, the way to build a habit is to consistently redo something over and over and over till it's just part of your routine now. It's not something that you're thinking about. Don't break the chain. A lot of times, again, people are like, well, I'm trying to make these changes, but I missed a day or two or a week, and then I might as well just stop. So there was a story that I read about Jerry Seinfeld, who many of you know was in the show, but he's also a comedian. And for what he would do is that every single day, he would create a little bit of new material. So at the end of the year, he had a year's worth of material, as opposed to sitting down saying, I need to write all my content for this show. He was doing it little by little, and it really made a really good thing. Expect setbacks. You're going to have days when you're going to fail, when you don't feel like you will, and these challenges arise. And biggest thing is don't give up. Kind of keep, being able to find motivation as you're going through all of that. So where does the 1% more come in? So as I said, there's a couple different rules here with that. Rule number 1 is it has to be something that you enjoy and make it fun. You make a bucket list, like what do you want to do? What do you want to experience or achieve? How do you want to do that? But how can I make that fun? Create a dream board. Ideally, like what is it you'd like to be able to do and dream upon, and how are you going to move forward with that? There was another one where I loved, it's called 3 stars and a wish. And I think this is really, really good, where like every day, maybe, or every once in a while, you write down 3 things that you're really good at or that you're currently doing well. And then 1 thing that you want to try to do a little bit better at. And so you're rewarding yourself positively, but you're also pointing out something that, hey, this is where I might be able to make a little bit of change. But if it's not fun, you're not going to stick with it. So really important. Rule number 2, no residual pain. I will hear this sometimes from people who maybe start an exercise routine and they're like, oh my gosh, I did this. And then the next day I was so sore, I couldn't do anything. And it shouldn't be that way. You might have a little bit of discomfort while you're doing the activity, but the next day you should not be so sore that you can't do it again, or that you can't get up and down stairs, or you can't get through daily activities. So really important that you want to challenge yourself, but not to the point of any type of pain. And then rule number 3 is that habit stacking, always just 1 more. So can I do 1 more minute of exercise? Can I do 1 more minute of walking? Can I do 1 more minute of putting down my electronics and focusing on the nutritional foods that I'm eating without getting so absorbed in not paying attention? Can I find 1 more minute where I can find some relaxation time for me? Those types of things, very important. Those are the types of things that we're talking about. If you've ever done anything like goal setting, then you'll know you've seen this word, SMART. And basically, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but when we're setting goals, we need to make sure that they are smart, that they are specific. So again, when we say, well, I want to eat healthy, it's a great goal, but it's not specific enough. So we need to be able to have it very specific. We want to be able to measure it. So again, if we go back to, I want to eat healthy, how are you going to know if you did that or not, if you don't have something that you can write down measurable? It needs to be attainable, something that you can reach. Okay, really, really important, relevant to where you want your goal or your dream to go. And then a time bound. You want to have a time stamp on that. For a lot of people, sometimes it's, I want to do this by this time, and I'm going to do these types of things in order to get there. So here's a great example for me that I thought of actually this morning in the shower. So many times people want to go on vacation somewhere. Maybe it's a cruise or you're going to the beach. And it's not like you get up in the morning and you just decide to go. There's been a plethora of planning that has gone into that. Maybe you researched, you talked about cost, you figured out the money, you figured out all the arrangements and all of that. So there were a lot of little steps in order to get to that goal or that dream of going on that vacation. So think of this as the same thing. Whatever your dream is, wherever you want to go with it, that's your dream. But then what are all those little action steps that are going to be underneath, just like when you're planning to go on vacation? Again, if you want to lose some weight, you've got to start with 1 pound. It didn't get there overnight. It's not going to go away overnight either. So really, really important. If you want to run a marathon, You can't run that marathon till you can at least walk around the block. And then you have to then, can I run around the block? Can I walk a mile? Can I add a mile? So, kind of fun like that. And then, as I said, they need to be obtainable and something. So here's my humor. Goals, if you can see it, you can reach it. Except for that tree, you're never going to reach that tree. So it's just, we do this to ourselves. We oftentimes set that goal so far out and so unattainable that we just don't reach it. So I just kind of threw that in there because I like fun. And then here's another one. So my goal is to be this calm when my life is falling apart. So it's not just about what can I do activity wise. It's not about losing weight, but it's also stress management. How can I get my life to be where I want it to be and always at that calm level? So you're going to have setbacks. That's normal, but you can still achieve success. Very, very important. So how do we write goals? So I have some examples of some very vague goals here on the left, and then some more pertinent goals on the right. So example, to increase physical activity. Great. It's not real specific, it's not measurable, and what's our time frame? Here, it's I'm going to walk 5 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes. So at the end of a week, you're going to know very quickly, did I meet that goal? Because I only walked twice. Okay, I didn't meet that goal. Maybe that goal was too lofty. Maybe I need to back it down. Okay, follow a good diet so I feel better. That's one that we always want to do. But what exactly does that mean? What is a good diet? So here's a little bit more specific. I will eat 2 fruits and vegetables 5 days a week. Okay, those then are positive changes that you can actually measure and see, and then you can put a time frame on it. I'm going to do that for 1 month and see how I feel. Okay, lose 20 pounds. Again, another big one. So here's how we're going to do. We're going to make some small changes to reach that dream. I will exercise 4 days a week for 30 minutes and not eat desserts or sweets on 5 days out of the week to lose that 20 pounds. Now, for some people, you're going to look at that and go, that's a whole lot of change. Let's break it down. Let's habit stack it. I will exercise 4 days a week. All right, so maybe you're doing nothing. So let's start with, I'm going to start with 1 day a week. Then I'm going to go to 2 days a week the next week, and then maybe 3 days. Or I'm going to start out at 20 minutes or 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm going to slowly build up my time. And then once that's a pattern, then I'm going to add reducing desserts or sweets to continue to motivate and move through that. So again, we break down these goals really importantly. I will reduce my stress. I will reduce my stress by, I'm going to increase my sleeping patterns, but I'm going to turn off all my devices in my bedroom and practice breathing techniques for 10 minutes each evening. So they're very specific, measurable goals that are attainable, something that you can probably do. When we oftentimes talk about the eating one, this is one of my favorite quotes. So ask yourself, are you hungry enough to eat an apple? If the answer is no, then you're not physically hungry. You're mentally or emotionally hungry. But if the answer is yes, then eat the apple. Now, right away, my brain goes to, well, no, I am hungry. I don't want the apple, but I want something else. Well, then I'm not physically hungry enough to need that apple. So it becomes, how do you talk to yourself? How do you make sure that you're getting there, and so forth? Exercise, lots of different ones here. There are lots of different excuses that people use. I'm tired, cross it out. It's too cold. Yes, it is. It's winter. Thank you. It's too hot. Yes, we wait for summer. It's raining. It's too late. Bottom line is, let's just go. Figure out what you want to do and just slowly move towards that. Okay. Make all the changes. Let's get yourself where we want to go. With exercise, my favorite thing is you don't have to do this. You get to do this. Okay. You should be happy that you're still able to do that. It's a privilege to be able to do a workout, not a chore and not a punishment. Exercise is a celebration of what your body can do and not a punishment for what you may have eaten. And we do that. Sometimes we eat, oh, I ate that, so now I need to go work on the treadmill for a half an hour. So it's not a punishment. It's an excitement. That's something that you really like and what you're ready to go with. Okay. So the next biggest thing is finding your reason why is the first step to finding your success. So this is where it comes into, like, what is your why? Why are you on this call today? Why did you sign up for Winter Streak? What's your important reason behind all of this? So when we do that, okay, what we're going to see here is I'm actually going to ask you to do something. So I want people to figure out, what is your why? Why are you ready to make some changes? What's different this time? What do you want to achieve out of it? Where do you want to go with all of this? What's your end goal, your dream, if you will? And then how will you achieve it and how will you measure it? And now here's my call to action. Kim's going to be like, I can't believe you did this, but my email is on there and I want you to write it down, because I'm going to ask everybody that's on the call, which right now we're at 121. I'm going to ask everybody on the call to send me an email to my work email telling me what your why is, because I want to be 1% better for each one of you to help you meet your goals. But the only way I can do that is if you're actually willing to sort of say to me, this is what I want to do. Now, I will reply to each and every one of you that sends me an email. I promise I will. Might not get it done in the first half hour, but I'll get to it. I absolutely promise that. So I want to see my email flooded with responses from everybody on this workshop saying, here's what my why is. Here's how I'm going to achieve it. Here's why I want to do what I want to do. Okay. Really, really important. This is how we practice this goal setting, if you will. Okay. Then when we get there, we've said, okay, so now I've set a goal, I've met a goal, and now what do I do? Because I have no idea what to do next. So the first thing is you have to celebrate. Really important to make sure that you celebrate. Reflect on your accomplishment, let other people know what you wanted to do and that you've achieved it, and then reward yourself. Now, again, if you wanted to lose weight, don't reward yourself with food. Let's try to get that one out of the picture. I used to teach quitting tobacco, and I had a gentleman who said to me right off the bat, I'm never going to be able to quit. I absolutely guarantee I'm not going to be able to quit. But if I work on this and I manage to do this, he likes to build things, and he has a tool that he wanted to buy, but it was a little costly. So we made a deal. Come to my class. Let's talk through this. Let's work through these things. And then every time you stop buying a pack of cigarettes, take that money and put it into a jar. And then let's see where we're at the end of class. So the best part is he quit smoking. He was worried about anger issues. He never fulfilled the anger issues. And then he saved up enough money over that period of time to be able to buy the tool that he wanted, because he was no longer spending it on cigarettes. For a couple of years after that, I kept in touch with him. And at one point his wife emailed me and she said, I'm a little worried because everything he wanted to buy, he's now bought, and there's no more tools. And so now I'm worried he's going back to cigarettes. And I'm like, now he was building his house with the foundation, one brick at a time, to where he was able to do that. So, you have to celebrate those successes in some ways. Set a timeline. Looking back at your achievement, make sure that you have a reasonable time to reach that. And if you don't make it, it's okay. Extend that timeline out a little bit further, but make sure that then if you did reach it, then set a new goal with a new timeline. Really important to kind of keep yourself on track. Habit stacking, build those. Create a maintenance plan. So what are you going to do once you've achieved that to be able to continue to keep that success going? And that's where setting the next goal, setting the next dream that you want to do. And don't be afraid to try new things. You might feel stuck with achieving this particular goal, so don't be afraid to try something new. Again, if you're struggling with it, then change the goal. Let's just change what that dream is and then move forward from there. So as we go through this, again, just lots of different things that we're looking at as far as that goes. The other thing is people oftentimes, they wait till they're rewarding themselves. So don't wait until you've reached your goal to be proud of yourself. Be proud every step that you're taking towards reaching that goal, because every day that you do something towards reaching that goal is a success, and you should be celebrating that in some capacity. Shout it from the rooftops. Call your friends and family and let them know, hey, did you know what? I didn't lose a pound today. And they'll be like, yeah, why are you calling me? And you're like, because I didn't gain a pound either. Like, it's a goal. I'm moving forward on that. So we oftentimes think of those types of things. So again, very, very important as we go through this. The other thing is, and this one is really important, is I want you to drink as you pour. Now, no, I'm not giving you permission to go be a binge alcoholic. That is not what I mean. Basically, what I mean is that whatever you want to do, whatever it is that fills you up, in order to pour, you have to make sure that it's important enough to you and that you continue to drink while you're pouring that out so that you can give back to the world, taking care of yourself so that you're not burning out. Work hard, rest hard. You want to do whatever it is that fills you up, that gives you that motivation, that gives you that sense of purpose. in order to continue to be able to give out to others. And oftentimes we don't do that. We drain ourselves so much that we give up on our goal, we give up on our dream because we just can't keep fulfilling that. So as you're doing this, as you're pouring out whatever your goal is, make sure you're still drinking from it. Okay, really, really important to continue to move forward. So I just realized I'm talking really fast and I so apologize. There are opportunities for you to go beyond this. So this winter streak is a wonderful 3-month program that, you know, can get people motivated and so forth. But we do have some additional things that I have on here. We have this class called Get Healthy Now, and there's a couple of different classes starting here in January. These are virtual classes, so it doesn't matter where you live, you can join. There's evening ones, daytime ones, and so forth. If it's something that you're interested in, there are links on the winterstreak.org workshop to be able to do that. These are classes to kind of help you take that next level step, if you will, to learn how to eat healthier, learn how to include physical activity into your life, how to reduce stress and all of that. 10-pound throwdown. So this one's going to go for 3 months, which is going to take us right into the 10-pound throwdown. And again, there's that. So I've met my goal. Now what? Or this is ending. Now what? This is great because then the 10-pound throwdown comes in, and for 10 weeks, it's another online type of free program where you can do. The challenge starts in mid-March, and registration starts the very beginning of March. And you can get friends, you can get family. If you work in a company, you can get a bunch of people from your organization to try to join. And the goal is that you want to try to lose 10 pounds over 10 weeks. So which is 1 pound a week, which is manageable. And again, manageable, but don't set it up so much that if you don't make it, if you only lose 8, you still lost something. Make sure to reward yourself on that. And if you only lost 1, then you only lost 1, but it's 1 more than you did before. And then there are some Prevent T2 classes. Diabetes is a really, really bad thing that's happening. And there's a lot of people that get pre-diabetic. So there's some classes starting in February, again, virtual classes that, you know, are listed on the Winter Streak website to, you know, make sure that you're comfortable with that. There's lots of opportunities to get involved throughout Winter Streak. There's the bingo cards that you can print out and play with your family. There's all sorts of links to resources and videos. So really, really important as you're looking at that to utilize the sources that we have for you out there specifically. There's like I said, so there's lots of links and different workshops that are coming up. This workshop was intended to try to get you to say, look, how can I make a little bit of difference every week between now and when this ends, or every week for the rest of my life to start making some small changes. Hopefully there's some motivation that happens. Hopefully you guys are going to fill my inbox with what your why is and why that's important for you. But the biggest thing is only ever compare yourself to you. That scale doesn't matter. It really, truly doesn't. And I know we put a big stickler on that, but it's how do you feel? How do your clothes fit? How's your energy level? How's your stress level? How are you feeling overall about your health? Are you able to maybe reduce some medications? Are you able to do something that you couldn't do before? So if your why is, you know what, I need to lose some weight because I'd be able to like to play with my grandkids, you know, then that's what your dream is. That's your overall goal. And then we build that plan out accordingly. But you have to make sure that you're only ever comparing yourself to you. Nobody else is you. Nobody else walks in your shoes. Nobody else has the same story as you. It just becomes, how am I going to be different tomorrow than I am today to be 1% better? Okay, really important on that. All right, so quick questions. All right, Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing here. So hopefully we get back to that. If anybody, yes, Linda, we got your hand up.
I just want to ask one question. I got most of your email address, but it has WellSpan, is it .org pictures covered up? Okay,
yep.
Thank you.
.org. Yep, thank you. I will make sure I fix that then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I can expect an email from you then, is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. That makes me happy. All right. Anybody else have any questions? If you want, you can.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. You said there were 3 things to email you, I think, but I just got the first 2. The why.
How what is your why? Yeah, like what do you want? And then how do you think you're going to achieve it, and how will you measure that?
How you measure it? Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so like if you're gonna say, again, my why is, I want to reduce my stress levels, then tell me what you think you're going to be able to do to make those changes and why that's important to you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Said I set a great foundation of excitement. Woo, that's my goal. My goal is to get people excited about change, and change is not easy. Change is chaos, change is chaotic, and it makes people nervous, but it's just about little tiny habits that we can make that get us to where we want to go. So hopefully that's where we go. Any other questions? If you want, you can use your raise your hand thing.
Yeah, there looks like, and I'm sorry, A. Kane.
Tell us the names of the books you mentioned in the beginning.
Yes, one is called Atomic Habits. And I don't actually physically have that one with me, but I'm going to pull this up. And then the other one here is called 1% Better. And like I said, this one, I haven't gotten all the way through it yet, but what I'm reading so far is awesome. Again, the young man has Down syndrome, and his whole motivation about being able to complete the Ironman triathlon, and it's very timed, and he was able to do it. And like I said, it's just been very motivating for me, and hopefully that gets something there. So yeah, James Clear is the author for the Atomic Habits. Thank you.
And I'm going to make one last plea for anyone who came on after I started recording. If your Zoom name on your Zoom room is a phone number or an abbreviation of your name, if you could put your name in your full name in the chat, or first and last name, not your full name, it'll help us track your attendance and make sure you get an entry to the prize drawing. And also wanted to let folks know, tomorrow you will get an evaluation about today's workshop, and we appreciate all the feedback. We also want to be better each time we go out and about and provide information for you guys. So anytime, and it'll maybe take a couple of minutes to fill out. We kept it really short, so we appreciate any feedback that you could send our way.
And then there's a question in the chat, will it be the same Zoom link every time? So that answer is no.
No.
Each of the workshops, even like later tonight, the workshop, there's a different link. So if you need that, just make sure you reach out to us.
Yep, and we will be sending the Zoom links for each workshop just prior to the workshop, usually the morning of.
Yeah.
And that
And
allows
then-
people time to register.
It
I have
says-
a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says you have to attend 14 classes to be in the drawings? Isn't it
No,
14?
no. I mean, you're welcome to. We'd love to have you. But anytime you attend a workshop, you get an entry. You don't have to attend any of them, but for everyone you attend. But it's a limit of 6 workshops. So
Okay.
we have the same exact workshop this evening at 5:30. Sandy will present again. You can get an entry for one or the other, or for watching the recording. But for each workshop, you get one entry. It just, how you go about that is up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the question is, where can we find more info and sign up? And that is the Winter Streak website, which is www.winterstreak.org.
Mhm.
So if you just type all that in, it'll take you right to that. And then somebody says, how can we watch the recording? So Kim, do you want to address that one?
Yep, absolutely. I will make sure the recording, it takes a little bit of time to get that ready to go. But if you go to winterstreak.org, probably sometime tomorrow, don't hold me to that. There's some technical stuff that may hold that up. Right now, if you go to winterstreak.org, you'll see this workshop and a register button. When the recording is available, the register button will be replaced with that recording. And if you signed up for the biweekly emails, which you can also do on winterstreak.org, we will be sending the email will include the recording link, and that goes every other Wednesday, you'll get a bi-weekly email. So next week they start, next Wednesday.
And for those of you that have already started to hit my inbox, yay, I'm so excited. I just glanced over at my inbox and I see a couple in there. And I also appreciate the fact that during the presentation, as my face continued to get redder and redder, because I get so excited about what I'm doing, that nobody said, you do know your face is getting very red and flushed. And I'm like, I kept putting my hands on it to try to just cool myself down. And I have always get nervous before I present. And somebody said to me one time, if you stop getting those butterflies, then you no longer care about what you do. So I judge myself by, if I get those butterflies, then I'm so excited to be doing it and I really care, and I had them. So you guys are awesome and I appreciate that. So keep flooding my inbox.
Yep, and Tammy, I'll answer your question, and then if you have additional questions, I'll give you my email. But Tammy wanted to know, if you watch a recording, do you get an entry for the prize drawing? And yes, that is correct. And the way we'll know that you watch the recording is if you fill out the evaluation after you've watched the recording. So that's how we'll capture folks that can't attend either session. And I'm going to put my email in the chat, but I'm going to say it. Oops, let me do this to everybody and not just Christine. If you have questions, and I've just discovered that I cannot type and talk at the same time. If you have any questions about Winter Streak, feel free to email me. I know the time is short and this afternoon, so I put my email in the chat. Feel free to email me at any time with questions, and I'd be happy to help out. Thank you all so much for attending. I look forward to hearing about progress as we go through the next 3 months, and we look forward to seeing you in future workshops and on Winter Streak. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.